If you've played Roblox at all in the past few months, you've probably seen Battlegrounds games. There are so many of these games, and today I'm going to challenge myself to make one of these Battleground games, but in only 1 week because yes. Okay, I really don't know how these Battlegrounds games work, so I'm going to go ahead and play one and try to get an idea of what I'm getting myself into.
Fatality.
Okay, after getting beat up for like 10 minutes, I totally know what I'm doing. No, I'm lying. I have no idea what I'm doing. But it's time for the challenge to start, so I'm just gonna have to jump into this and see what happens. Wish me luck. Okay, the first thing to do is to come up with an idea for the game. There are already so many anime Battlegrounds games, so I think I'm gonna make like a more cartoony Battlegrounds game, but still have those cool like special effects. Like imagine playing this fun little cartoony Battlegrounds game where all of a sudden you burst out a gigantic hammer that's stronger than me, and that's like really, really strong. Like okay, you caught me. It's not that strong. But then you completely obliterate everyone in the game. Alright, now that I have my idea, I'm gonna go ahead and start on a map. Okay, if you've watched any of my videos, you really know how incredible and amazing my builds are. We're gonna put my building skills to use today because I'm gonna start making a map, which is literally one of my least favorite things to do on Roblox. Yay. Okay, I'll admit this took way longer than I expected. I probably spent like an hour or two making this map, and it turned out looking like this. It's kind of really not that great, but it's gonna have to do. Remember, this is only gonna be made in 7 days, so I'm gonna go with it, and we're gonna get started on the actual Battlegrounds part of this game. This game wouldn't be a Battlegrounds game if you couldn't battle on the ground, so I'm gonna go ahead and start making some animations for you to punch and kick and do all that stuff. And unlike my building, I'm actually really good at making animations. Like this one. Okay, so I spent some time and animated about 3 different attacks. One would be a punch with your right hand, one would be a punch with your left hand, and then you would have a little spin kick as your third move in a combo. I made those animations and they look, I guess, decent, but they're gonna have to do. The next thing I did was I went ahead and started scripting the combat, and this is something that is actually not that easy to do. In terms of scripting, this is definitely one of the harder things to do. Basically what I have to do is have this client-to-server communication, and that really just means that everything you see on your computer, I want that to happen on the server so that everybody in the game sees it. So if you punch, it's gonna punch on everybody's computers, and that can sometimes create lag. So later on in the video I ended up doing that on the client, which means all the computers handle those animations. It's kind of geeky, but that's kind of the gist of it. Then whenever players click to punch or kick, you basically shoot a ray cast out of their stomach. I know that sounds really nasty and graphic. It's really not. Basically what that means is you just shoot an invisible line outside of the player's character to see if they actually punched something or not. And then if they actually did punch something, you add damage to that player. After all that was working fine, I decided I wanted to add something else, and that was knockback, because a lot of these games have knockback. Basically that means once you get hit, you get pushed back. I'm pretty sure you know what it means, but just in case you're living under a rock and don't know what that is, that's all it is. And after that, the entire combat system was basically done, and it was only day 1, so we were already in great shape to finish this out in a week. The next day I wanted to polish up the combat system because it was working well, but it felt really unpolished and not satisfying at all, and I knew something that would help that. Sound effects! Sound effects are actually a huge part of video games, and without them it really wouldn't be satisfying at all. Like imagine playing an FPS and you click to shoot and you hear nothing. So I needed to add some sound effects to make this polished. I wish I knew how to make these sound effects myself using like Foley techniques, but I don't, so I'm gonna have to go ahead and use some free sounds from the toolbox. I really wish that I had actually learned how to make sound effects, because that would have made the game even better. And fortunately for me, now I can, with Skillshare, the sponsor of today's video. Skillshare is the largest online community for learning out there, and it has tons of classes taught by experts across so many industries. You can learn coding, modeling, animation, music, or like me, sound effect design and Foley art. I even found multiple Roblox development classes. Skillshare also provides its community with learning paths, enabling you to master skills with special curated collections of classes. They've also recently added smarter class categories, 3 new class topics, creative careers, creative inspiration, and AI and innovation, as well as the ability to find classes by software and material. Oh, and the first 500 people to use the link in my description will get 1 month of Skillshare completely for free. So what are you waiting for? Go to the link in my description to start learning some awesome skills today. And who knows, maybe for my next game, I'll have learned how to make my very own sound effects instead of having to use the toolbox like I did here. Alright, I found a ton of free sounds and kind of loaded them up. I scripted it so that they would play each time it needed to play. And here's a little footage of me playing that game. It sounds so much better with the sound effects. Check it out. Okay, so it already felt so much better with these sounds, but there was so much more to go. One of the big things with Battlegrounds games is that you can play as characters with special abilities. And some of these characters are just so annoying because then people come in new to the game and they get insta-killed and it's so annoying. What? I'm not salty at all. What are you talking about? I came up with a couple character ideas. One of them I didn't end up using, but the two I used were Dr. Hammer and Captain Fire. And I know what you're thinking. These names are the absolute best names that you could have thought of, right? Glad you agree. So I went ahead and made these characters. The first one was Dr. Hammer. For that, I decided to model a hammer in Blender, and it turned out, I guess, decent, but again, I'm not a modeler, so it could be better. After that, I turned to what I'm good at, and I scripted the hammer ability, and it turned out super, super cool. The first one was basically one where you jump in the air, and then you come down, smash on the ground, and anyone near you goes flying into the air. I think it turned out really cool. I also scripted two more abilities for the hammer guy. One where you just take out your hammer and swing it and whoever's in front of you gets hit, and then the other where you take out your hammer and you spin around and basically anybody that's in a circle around you, they would get hit and they would fling somewhere around you. I don't really know where, but it was pretty funny. Sometimes it would glitch out and then you would end up flying out of the map. So if that happens to you, like genuinely, I want to say from the bottom of my heart, you're probably just bad at the game. Okay, I have the hammer abilities all finished, which means it's time to move on to the next character. And for this guy, it's the fireman. Not a fireman, like Captain Fire. The first ability for this character was you were gonna shoot fireballs out of your hand, and I got that done pretty quick. And after that, I moved on to the second ability, which would let you rain fire down from the sky. That one was really cool, and I had fun playing with the visual effects there. I also added a really cool effect where the camera shakes whenever the fire is about to rain from the sky. I think it looks super, super cool. After that, I needed to come up with the last ability for this character, and I couldn't really think of anything, so I decided to give him healing powers, where he could stick his fists together, make fire, and heal because of that fire. And there we go, I had two characters, each with 3 abilities. One of the characters would cost Robux so that I could make a little money off this video, and the other one was going to be free for anybody. Alright, so I had the characters finished, I had the map, I had the combat system, everything seemed to be just about ready to go. Oh wait, I forgot. Music. A video game soundtrack says a lot about the game, and because I didn't want this to be just another one of my games, I decided I was not gonna use a toolbox song for this game. I know, I was gonna make my own music for this game. I have made a lot of music on my own in the past, but I haven't made any video game music, so I have no idea how this is gonna turn out. I guess we'll give it a try. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and figure out a song. Let's see what I can come up with. I still have no idea what I'm gonna do, so I'm just gonna mess around with the keys and see if I can find something cool. Okay, so I actually finally finished the song. I'm gonna play a clip of it so you guys can hear it. I'm happy with how it turned out. Let me know what you think. And with that, I imported the music into the game, and here's a little clip of me playing it with that music. So that's how that turned out. Let me know what you think down in the comments. But I still needed one more thing, and that was a game icon and thumbnail. I tried making it myself a couple times, but it's so bad that I'm not even going to show it on the video. On the final day, I reached out to my friend and asked him very politely if he would like to make a thumbnail and icon for my game, making it clear that he didn't have to. And of course, he said yes. He said yes so many times, I had to tell him it's okay to say no. But he still said yes. This was also his first time ever making a game icon and thumbnail, so let's see what it turns out like. I uploaded it to the game, and that means I finished. Oh, and before I forget, I'm currently working on a huge update, and I mean huge update, to the game, so make sure you've joined my Discord server. The link is down in the description, because I'm going to send an announcement there when the game is out and ready for you guys to play. There you go, I guess it's possible to make a Battlegrounds game in 7 days. Granted, it's not a very good one, but it is a Battlegrounds game nonetheless. My Discord server link and my Patreon and all that stuff, you can go find it down there. By the way, my Discord server is a super fun place for you to go chill with other developers or Roblox players and just, yeah, hang out. It's really fun. Huge thanks to Redmax, Justin Marvel, Extus, and Abolish for all supporting me on Patreon. The link for that is also down in the description. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.